Yes.
Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is from Deuteronomy 16:18 through 21:9. It's titled Shoftim, or Judges. It's kind of interesting coming from one of the most misquoted Bible verses is, "Thou shalt not judge." It's, "Judge not, lest you be judged." Be careful how you judge. We'll get more into that here in a little bit. So they're important judges. I'm going to get back to Judges 17:7 because that's what stood out to me the most. I'm going to cover that last and how that relates to John chapter 8. And then 17:18 was the king supposed to write down his own copy of the Torah and read it in details. And I think I actually watched David Wilbur's Torah portion earlier this week, and kind of about the humble and the proud. Sometimes we get in this movement, we get a little bit proud, the Torah terrorist reputation. I'm better than you because I'm keeping Shabbat, or I don't eat pork no more bacon, and kind of puff ourselves up instead of using that to examine ourselves and how we can live better and be better examples and better witnesses. In chapter 18, the priests, no inheritance, so they got to eat the offerings. So that's why offerings in that time was so the priests could eat. And, also it tells you not to serve Jehovah like you serve other gods. So no divinations, no sorcery, no magic, no omens. The prophet like unto Moses in chapter 18. And beware of false prophets, kind of like if they say something that doesn't come true, if they don't speak on behalf of Yehovah that doesn't come true, then they're false prophets. Or if they tell you to go against the Torah, they're false prophets. I think another one was interesting in chapter 19, the refuge cities. So if you can get to this city or this country, you're safe. I was like, man. Kind of the accidental killings. Sometimes accidents happen. Be careful. But it was also kind of a thing. I was listening to some this week how sometimes it's just the apathy that gets us hurt, that gets somebody else killed. I work in a manufacturing plant, and sometimes it's apathy that gets people hurt. I've seen very dangerous accidents. A few years ago, there was a lady that actually took a helicopter ride, got her hand caught in the lathe, and went in, and could have been a lot worse. It was just a broken arm. Could have been no arm, but it was a little bit of apathy. It's just not paying attention to the rules. This is going to sound bad, but fortunately it was that person that got hurt instead of them hurting somebody else. But sometimes if we're a little bit apathetic, sometimes if we're not paying attention where we're going when we're driving, we can hurt somebody else on the road. So it was who to take to battle. I thought it was funny. If you bought a new house, don't go to battle. New vineyard, don't go to battle. New wife, don't go to battle. It's like, man. And then I guess it was kind of, there's things that are more important in life than the others. Sometimes you got to take care of yourself. Then the tenderhearted, kind of some that couldn't take battle. As a veteran, I've served with people. If something happens, I really don't want this person beside me. If there's a real fire, I don't want you. Oh. And hopefully you're not that person, but you got to be careful. But back to the beginning of it, Judges 17:7. It said, the hand of the witnesses shall be first against him to put him to death, and the hand of all the people last. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. That kind of reminds me, I was like, man, Where have I heard that before? John chapter 8, the famous story. I come from a Baptist background, so it's just like, that's the difference between law and grace. Now we're under grace. Hallelujah, thine the glory. Revive us again. We'll be singing this song all week. But Yeshua actually fulfilled the law here, because it was in John chapter 8. Because there's a woman caught in adultery, and it said, hey, what should we do with her? It says stone her. Well, Yeshua didn't come as a judge the first time, so it wasn't his place to cast judgment. And it was also on them to throw the stones first. That's why he said, hey, if you don't have sin yourself, then you can throw the stones. They got away. But like I said, the humble and the proud, if we can use the Torah as a way to beat people over the head and we're not doing it right, we should use it as a way to examine ourselves and be the lights for Yeshua that we're supposed to be. Shabbat shalom.
Daniel, thank you so much for bringing the word once again and bringing application